Well, it's still Wednesday, March 10th. I haven't gone anywhere. Um, I did take like a good long nap. Um, I thought I slept longer. It felt really like I'd slept in, but only 3 hours had passed. Still mid-afternoon even. But anyway, for whatever reason, I didn't really feel moved to write anything. The topics are still there. They aren't going anywhere. The only thing that's changing is maybe my little bit of mental time between the events and how, what colors they're taking and how I feel about them. I guess I feel less about them, for the most part, because they aren't really have. I'm affected, but I'm not really influenced, or I'm influenced but not really affected. I think that might be closer. Influenced but not really affected. Yeah, that's about right. Because it's not about me. I'm just kind of a collateral bystander, where I can choose to intervene. I don't have to, but it's one of those gray areas. Of course, so much of everything is gray. But anyway, I haven't written anything yet. That kind of puts concrete on it for me, because when I've written about it, it kind of makes it more real, that it means something. The more I write about it, the more real it becomes. The more I talk about it, the more real it becomes. So it's like if I really want something to be real and to stick, I will talk about it a lot, and or I'll write about it a lot. Things that never get committed to video or to writing are things that are just, I guess, things that I'm not thinking about that much or trying to figure out. Things that I just kind of think I understand, as well as I seem to care to at the moment. It's like I don't talk about my brother up in Wisconsin. It doesn't mean that he's not real. It just means that there's nothing going on up there that I really know about that needs me to think about it and try to figure out. It's just whatever's going on up there that's a different world, and I'm not really a part of it. And I don't really have much communication or anything going on. I don't really know too much. Am I supposed to? Who knows? But this is about as much as I'll talk about it, because not much more. Unless I was like sharing other details, but I'm not going to. So there's that. So anyway, so I guess I was struggling with trying to think of something to talk about, because even if I don't feel like writing, I might feel like talking. And so I decided to, obviously. And I didn't go to the Wednesday night meeting. I haven't been going for a couple months now. I kind of gave up on it just because of philosophical differences on etiquette and protocol and decorum and what we're doing. So it's like I don't have any say over anybody else. I can only speak for myself. So I have an action item on my own feet, and I vote. And so, not that it matters, whether I'm, But, and I guess as far as like recovery from recovery goes, that is, an ongoing concern. And, so my drawing back, stepping back, being less present, it helps other people step up, because a lot of people, they'd just be fine. I mean, to just stand back and just let other people do the talking and just, hide. They are content to hide. But the less people that are there, there's less people to hide behind. And if there's one less person that's known to speak, that's more time that might be for them to talk. So my not being there is, in a way, helpful. It gives opportunity, it gives room for growth. Because every so often, if the canopy of a forest is just ever blocking the sun, just using up all the resources, the undergrowth is just shaded and stunted. And it's only when some of those trees get knocked over or die that light can reach the forest floor. And that's when some of those new growth can take place. So I don't know if that's the best metaphor because it involves, some of the trees falling down. But anyway, there's a metaphor in there somewhere. Or the canopy is, yeah, you see where I'm going. So anyway, I can think about it however I want, but I enjoy not always having to be there to monitor and babysit. Sometimes it feels like, because people, that's one of the things they need to learn to, outside of the system, fend for themselves. I was doing that kind of for myself all those years. I was doing the imitation version, where it was very important for me to appear that I was doing okay, so people left me alone, and people didn't investigate me too much. Don't look too close, because I didn't want you to find out, like how I was actually living, which was all above board. It was just all about my drinking, and I was protective of that. I didn't want people to see how I was using my time, because obviously I didn't have a wife or a girlfriend or a relationship or friends. I didn't do anything, and I guess my only explanation of what do I do, and somebody asked me, and I was like, I consume media. What a strange response that must have sounded. I didn't back it up with anything. It's like, TV, movies, video games. Don't ask me any further questions, please. And they didn't. I didn't have to say that. And I was a family member too. It wasn't like a stranger. It was a cousin. And I didn't qualify or justify. It was just like, no, these are questions. I don't answer these questions. Well, I didn't invite anybody over either. So I never did. I still don't. It's like I don't have people over to the apartment. Why? That means what, I want to talk to them, or I don't even have a TV. I don't have entertainment. The only, we could talk. Why would we talk here? Talk other places. And I don't, have relationships or anything like that. I'm just solitary. So, this is how it is for me. I don't know what anybody else does with the rest of their lives, but this is how my life is. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing something different, but this is what I am doing right now. But at least there's possibilities that I might not always be doing this or living this way. I talk about it quite a bit, possibilities. In my active drinking career, there were no possibilities, and what little possibilities were remaining were just, it was all just fading away. And so at least now I'm learning something and, getting established in a life of some kind, building up some sort of reputation, or consistency, reliability, gathering confidence in myself and all that stuff. Becoming like a person is has been my thing that I've been talking about recently, because I never really felt like a person before. Or has had an identity of my own. It's like, I have an identity. whoa, it's crazy. I don't even know what that means. But I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm just trying to be like me. And that was like the whole thing. I've been, a lot of people talk about that you find people that have what you want, or you want what they have, and then you stick around them and talk with them, and slowly you'll become like them or something. But very quickly I realized that no, not really anybody. I didn't really have any role models or people that I wanted what they had. No, everybody's pretty much, they've got their problems. Um, they they've got all sorts of issues, whether they acknowledge them or not. And it's like I don't want what they have. It's like they've got 30 years of sobriety. Okay, it's just a number. What does that mean? And what have they been doing with that time? They don't seem like they're that happy. I mean, there's some people that are more content than others, but there's some that are just like darn right, you know, pretty darn grumpy and angry and arrogant and suspicious and conspiracy minded. A whole lot of fear, doubt, paranoia. That's just for starters. And it's like I can see myself going down that road, and I'm already happy. I'm already, I've got my first couple footfalls down that path. And if I'm not too careful, I'll start following it. So I'm just very careful about who I associate with. So that's why I don't associate with anybody really. And whatever my associations used to be, I've kind of let those go, and very hesitant about adopting any new ones. And it's like, I don't know if it's a trust issue. It's probably a trust issue. But the people around that I've got local, it's like I made a decision, even with Facebook, 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now, about whether to open up and have outsiders, well, have my friends on my Facebook. And it's like, no, because then I won't be able to write or do anything like how I want to, because people will make comments and they'll want to talk to me about stuff, and I would have never developed my writing, because I wouldn't have written. I mean, sure, I could have written like on paper, but I don't know. It would have just been a whole different thing, and it wouldn't have led me to this, and it wouldn't have led me to the person I met, or the people I've met, or the places I've gone, or the stuff I've done. So like this, if I hadn't gone the path I'd walked up till exactly right now, I wouldn't be here. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be learning the things I'm learning, experiencing the things I'm experiencing, even though they're downright frustrating and confusing and all that stuff. But I'll get over myself. So I'm working on having what I want. I'm not wanting what others have. And it's like I'm not trying to be like somebody else, or emulate or imitate or mimic other people. It's like my sponsor. It's like, no, no. What did he have? What does he have? Well, at the time, he was, talking. He sounded like he knew what he was doing. And we were told to pick somebody. So I was like, pick somebody. Okay. There's somebody that sounds like they're a person. So, but, everybody's got character flaws. And it's like, or, personality traits, stuff they, and it's like, I just identified that it's like, no. I don't fall into that role of, this is why I don't really sponsor people, and I don't really believe too much I believe it works for the people that it works for, and that's great. But I don't think that's a make or break situation where if you have to find a sponsor, people just suck. And then when other people come into the rooms and start like really drumming it up about you have to get a sponsor, have to get a sponsor, and then they're just visitors, and then they leave. And it's, oh, good. Thanks for planting those seeds in this group that I'm a part of, and I'm seen as a stable member of. And it's like, and I'll just tell people, no, it's like you're getting the best of me right here, right now. That's all there is. I can, it's like, so a lot of people I think see sponsors as somebody to blame for when they don't, get something, and it's like, well, he didn't give me the answers I need. And it's like, I'm not here to give you your answers. You find your own answers. I'm just going to say a bunch of stuff, and you pick out what sounds like it makes sense for you. I don't know how it works. Here's a pamphlet. Keep coming back. And I mean, that's all I've done. And so I can only share how it's worked for me. I can't share how it's going to work for them. I don't know that. I'm not a fortune teller. And most of the time, it's not going to work for them because people don't want to work for themselves. So, I mean, it's cold truth. And if I don't get to know people, then I don't get to care for them. And so when stuff happens to them, it doesn't bother me so much. I guess the last one that really, really hurt was just because it was so unexpected. It was Tamara. And I'd forgotten her name until just now. Yeah, I guess that was about 1.5 years ago. No, it's probably been closer to 2 years. But, just mostly addict. I'm not sure exactly. Nothing good. Crystal meth or heroin or both, or who knows what else. Alcohol usually involved too. But problems, life problems. And she was doing pretty well. And I don't know what happened exactly. I know it was heart related, and it could, health reasons, all that sort of substance abuse over decades of time. And she wasn't the youngest of people. She was, I think, somewhere in her 60s, maybe. And, but she was really nice. And, I liked her a lot. She had a good personality. It was a developing personality, but she had a lot of potential, but it's just, she just physically never, it was physically a little bit too late for her, based on the amount, her hard life of substance abuse and how long it was before she started getting help. And, don't like to think of it ever being too late, but it's like, it's like for me, if I had stayed at it and, got out of treatment and gone back to Wisconsin and just picked up right where I would have been back in the hospital within a couple weeks, most likely. And it wouldn't have ended well. Another hospital trip, another hospice stay, get back out, decide that, it would have just been a vicious cycle that quickly faded to nothing. So choosing life and choosing to keep trying, that's probably I don't know what decisions or how I was even thinking at the time. It was just, that's another story, and it's buried across a lot of writings. But it's all recorded, so I consider it safe. The only thing I can do is tell it again, which I will do. Just not here, just not now. But I like that, knowing that it's recorded, so I don't have to worry so much. And so becoming myself and becoming a person that I want to be, becoming a person whose life is worth living and worth sharing, and investigating all that, I think it's like just awesome. So it's very interesting. A lot more interesting than the life I was leading before. So, yeah, it'd be nice if it was less stressful. It'd be nice if there was less frustration, inconvenience. But then, where would be the fun in that? You know, take away the mystery, take away the unknown, take away the uncertainty. What do you have left? You take away the mystery, take away the magic, take away the marvel. All you're left with is the mundane. Now, there's nothing wrong with a little mundane, but it can wear on you. So, anyway, I guess that's all I have. I didn't really have too much to say. It just took me over 20 minutes to say nothing. So, So, anyway. I guess I should go. But I liked our little talk. Creating a little bit of a safe space. That's what I like to think, at least. Yeah. So this is what I was doing on March 10th. Probably around 9 p.m. by now. On a Wednesday night. For whatever reason. For whatever it means. For whatever it's worth. Yep. So, anyway. Okay. I'm gonna go.